Hello, this is Julia Rankenberg. Welcome to the John H. Rippey Grant for Laboratory Quality Assurance SurveyMonkey Apply tutorial. We are going to review how to navigate the SurveyMonkey Apply site as a reviewer, how to access your applications, and other hints and tips as you go through this exercise. So once you have logged in to the SurveyMonkey Apply site, as a reviewer, your first screen that you will see is your review dashboard, which we have displayed here. So you can see I'm logged in, my name is in the upper right-hand corner, and my reviewer dashboard is displayed. So for my testing purposes, I have multiple dashboards going on, but for today's tutorial, we are going to focus on the John H. Rippey Grant for Laboratory Quality Assurance. All reviewers have been assigned 3 applications. And you can see in my dashboard, it says 1/3. So this tells me I've reviewed 1 out of my 3 assignments. For you, as a brand new reviewer, this will reflect 0 out of 3 until you take some action with your applications. So on your screen, most likely this blue button will say Start, since you're brand new to this process. For me, since I've been in the site, it says Continue. We select that. And as the system is thinking, we will be going to the next page, which is displayed here, that reflects the 3 applications that all reviewers have been assigned. So in my view, you'll see the 3 applications, and these 3 applications are in various status. This one, the first one, you'll see that this circle is blank and that you can select the Start button. So this represents an application that I have not yet begun to review, so it's brand new. The second application you'll see has a half green circle and my selection is Continue. So this tells me I've been into this application, I've done some work, I've made the choice to save it, to come back later and finish it. This last application, you'll see it has a green check mark. So this tells me that this application is complete. I have reviewed it and I've saved my review as complete. So my only option here right now is I can just view the application, the scores, and the comments that I made. So what we will do is we will select an application that has yet to be started. Select the Start button. The system is going to process and come to our next screen. So in our next screen here, you'll see that it's a split screen and that you can toggle back and forth here if you want to expand or compress your view. So on the left-hand side, you'll see you have 3 different options here. So Summary, Application, and Reviews. So Summary just gives some general information about what application this is, who is the applicant, and when they submitted it. Our next tab here, Application, gives you information almost the same as the right-hand side of your screen. So what I have found useful with this split screen type of setup is that both screens are scrollable. You can scroll up and down. But having this side-to-side comparison may be easier for you as a reviewer in that on the right-hand side of the screen, you can scroll. You've got the project executive summary, the narrative, and then you have the 6 questions that you need to score. So having the questions up, it may be easier for you to scroll on the left-hand side of the screen to actually see all the application content so you can read it and review it, go back to things as you are going through the 6 questions. Also notice that the applicant's CV is attached and also their project authorization letter. So with this in mind, let's assume I am the reviewer. I've reviewed the project title, I've reviewed the executive summary, and the narrative, and the attachments. So I can go back to the right-hand side of my screen and determine, it's based on question number 1, quality of the proposal, its scientific merit, how would I rate this individual? And just for example purposes here, I can select a 1 through a 5, and they are defined as to how you would rank someone who is poor to someone who is outstanding. So for this applicant, I'm going to say, oh, I think they answered the question. I feel it's satisfactory. And perhaps I want to make a comment. This project has good detail. So now I can move on and I can scroll down to question number 2, degree of innovation. And I'm thinking, I might want to reread something on the application. So I'll scroll and perhaps I want to reread a couple things within their project narrative. I review it and I say, okay, it's average. I think they answered the question. I add in comments if I choose to. At this point, I don't. I'm going on to question number 3, impact on transferability to the specialty of pathology and patient care. I rate that how I feel it's appropriate. This one I'm going to say, for example, purposes only, oh, it was poor. They didn't provide any detail. There was no connection. I don't see any connection in terms of its transferability to pathology and or patient care. Question 4, qualifications of applicant. Well, this will be, well, let me go back and re-review their CV, which I can click here as a view it full screen or download it just to get a sense of, how is this applicant specific to his or her knowledge in the subject area being proposed. And I might say very outstanding. And I could say great experience. Moving on, I'll go to question number 5. The availability of resources for this applicant. Do they have the resources they need to complete their project? I might want to reread something in the narrative and I'll say, yeah, they do. They answered the question. So my last item is, can the project be completed in 1 year? And so this is something that we specifically ask participants to clarify within either their project narrative, their attached letter of support, somewhere within the application. We really want confirmation that this could be completed in a year. For example purposes only, I'm going to say nope. I don't know if it can complete it in a year because the person didn't tell me. So I'll just say unknown. If project can be completed in 1 year. So you'll see as you're scrolling through the questions that SurveyMonkey Apply is automatically tallying your scoring, and they're also averaging the scores for this particular applicant, but this is done for all applications. You, as a reviewer, have the opportunity to provide some additional comments and also provide your insight if you feel that this project meets the intent of the Rippey grant and if you feel that the award should be made. So we only have 1 award to offer to one of these 3 projects, or reviewers could make the choice to split the award into more than 1 applicant. So that's something that could be discussed within the group setting. So here's what I alluded to during the introductory comments. As a reviewer, you can save your application as a draft, or you can mark it as complete. If you save it as a draft, this means that you're able to go back into the system and perhaps change scores, add or delete some comments. You still have time to retweak your review as you see fit. If you mark as complete, then your review of this application is done, and you will not have the opportunity to go back into the application. And also this allows other reviewers to look at your points and your comments anonymously once reviews are marked as complete. For our purposes, I'll just say, let's just save the draft. And so the system should give you a pop-up when the draft has been saved. I'm not sure since I am offline here. Oh, if this is going to happen. Okay, so I believe now you see we have a half green circle, so it tells me that my saving draft has been completed. For those applications that are marked as complete, you can click on the review selection here, and you can see that the reviewer is listed and that if any applications are completed, you can hover here and select the icon and see an application. So for an example, we'll just go back to our first stage here, and we'll go back to the application that I actually completed as my test. We can view this, and the system is thinking for a moment. We'll see the split screen appears again. I click on reviews on the left-hand side of the screen, and you can see right now Rippey grant review stage 1 of 1 review has been completed. So what I can do is I can hover over here. You'll see how my arrow is hovering. This little icon shows up. It looks like a check on a piece of paper just to demonstrate a completed application, a completed review. I click on that, and so mine and or anyone else's application review will appear, and I can see the reviewer is Julia Rinkenberg, and then I can scroll down, see the scoring and any comments, etc. Now I believe this should be anonymous, but don't hold me to it. For example, since I'm logged in as myself, it shows my review without making it anonymous. So I hope you find this helpful, this tutorial. If you have any questions or if you need some additional guidance, just let me know. And just to point out, at my reviewer dashboard, the application that in the beginning was a blank circle, now since I went into this application, did some work, and I saved my draft, this half circle now appears.